Welcome, yogis. Thanks for joining. Today's practice is going to be all about self-soothing through our yoga, through our breath. And it's not a restorative practice because we are going to move a little bit, but I do want you to approach your practice with a softer touch for this session. You know, we all know these sayings, you can't pour from an empty cup. And we want to show up as our best selves for our families, our communities, our work, our passions. We need to have a good awareness of our energy level and to know when we need to take some time to replenish those energy stores, recharge the batteries, and that's what I hope we can do together through this practice. We will be on our knees a little bit, so if you know you like to have some cushioning or an extra pad for your knees, you grab a blanket or maybe a towel, and then just having a cushion or a bolster if you've got one nearby. Let's start in easy cross-legged seat. Really good tool for just checking in with our energy levels is the breath. So let's get into that straight away. Let the shoulders drop, closing your eyes. And just calling on a better quality of breath. So as you inhale, really feeling ourselves lengthen up along the spine. As you exhale, feeling some drop in your shoulders, some release of tension. Just a couple more breaths that way. When you inhale, just pulling in this nourishing quality. What do you need to feel more restored? And when you exhale, breathing out what you don't need. Just one more deep, deep breath. And the inhale at the top this time, let's pause. Open your mouth, exhale, feel the shoulders sink even more. Nice. We'll slowly open the eyes and just checking your seat. See if we can gather the ankles right beneath the knees. Sometimes helpful to place that cushion or prop beneath your seat. And just take a few shoulder rolls back. Feeling the state of your neck and your shoulders, maybe one shoulder at a time, or rolling them back together. Let both shoulders drop down. Let's go up tall through the crown of the head. And then with your arms, splay them really nice and wide. So you're lifting from your chest. And then as you exhale, we're going to cross one arm on top of the other. It doesn't matter which one. Just remember what you started with. And placing one hand on each opposite knee. And then from there, we're going to see if we can turn the palms up. And if you can, slide your hands to outer knees. So it almost feels like you're pressing the backs of your hands against your knees. And as you just apply that gentle pressure, lift your gaze and your chest just a little bit more. And as you exhale, we're going to lean into the back ribs and you can allow your chin to drop down toward your chest. Seeing if we can open up some space around the shoulder blades, broadening across the upper back. And almost feeling as if you can breathe a little more into the backs of the lungs here. And then softening at the hands, let's lengthen up through the spine. Open up your arms nice and wide again. Wide wingspan. And then as you exhale, opposite arm on top. Start by placing the palms down. And then maybe seeing if you can get your hands to the outside edge of your knees so that the palms face out. We're rotating the hands. And there's that gentle pressure, backs of the hands to your knees as you start to round and lean into your back ribs. So it feels a bit more like our cat back stretch. Letting your head tip forward gently. Take another breath. And on the inhale, one more time, opening really broad across your chest. Let the heart sing. And we'll relax the hands down. Just switching out the cross of your legs. Whatever shin is in back, allow that to become the front. And this time, when you breathe in, the arms go straight up toward the sky. With the exhale, let's add a gentle turn. Right hand goes behind you, left hand to your right knee. And then same thing, you might flip the palm so it faces out. Apply that gentle pressure back of your left hand against your right knee and begin to turn your rib cage to the right. Your right hand is just placed in a way that helps keep you really tall through your spine. Really feeling like there's a lift through the upper right ribs. And then if you like, we can slowly add a counter turn from the cervical spine. We're going to slowly turn the chin to the left shoulder. So you're looking past your left shoulder. And you keep boosting the upper right side of your chest up into the right. slowly everything comes back to center. With the inhale, reaching upwards toward the sky. Exhale, your other side. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Turn the palm to face out away from you. It's feeling that press of your right back of your hand against your left knee. Beginning to turn the chest to the left. Staying really nice and grounded in your sit bones. Feeling the spine lengthen on an inhale, and on the exhale, maybe that counter turn for your neck, really slow. Turning to look over the right shoulder. Still boosting up through that upper left chest. And then slowly bringing everything back to center. Nice work. Let's transition into child's pose. Coming onto the knees. And starting to settle the hips back toward your heels as we walk the arms long out in front toward that top edge of your mat. Allow the forehead to soften down. You can place your cushion between your hips and your heels, or maybe even the cushion beneath your upper body. And with every breath out, just letting ourselves sink down into the mat, into the earth. But with every inhale, still staying really nice and buoyant in the back body. Breathing into the upper back, the lower back. Stay as you are, except we're going to lift the head and just walking the hands off that right side edge of your mat. So we start to get a little bit more side stretch in the left side. And if you like, you can stack your left hand on top of the right, both palms face down. Your head can stay lifted, or once again, letting it soften down toward the ground. Feel as if you're still reaching back through your left sit bones, so we can really get some nice space in the left side ribs. And then with your next inhale, walking your hands through center, let's go the other side. Hands walking off to the left, and on this side, it's maybe your right hand that stacks on top of your left. Draw the outer right hip straight back, soften your upper body down toward the ground. Feel for more breath moving into your right side waist. And let's inhale and bring ourselves back up to tabletop. Hands right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips, and then go ahead and soften your belly down as you lift your heart into your cow pose. Exhale, just slightly pressing down into all of the fingertips to push the ground away, feeling into your cat back. Moving with a breath, inhale, soften the belly down, slide the heart through, breathing in. Exhale, pushing the ground away, finding lots of space in your back again, navel to spine. Take 3 more and really prioritize the connection between your breath and your movement so that the breath is leading the way. You're not getting ahead of it. It's a way to help us feel that even as we move through our practice, we are recharging, we are nourishing rather than depleting ourselves or feeling rushed. Finding our way back to tabletop, back into neutral spine. Let's tuck the toes. You're going to push down into your hands and just float the knees up a tiny bit. This may be a height where you could slide like a magazine underneath your knees. Not a big one, a small one. And just feeling enough core awareness that we can draw lower belly in and up just to maintain that level tabletop shape. Nice work. I'm not going to do too much work in this practice, but it is nice to start from a place of awareness with our core and then start to push into your hands. Keep the knees bent as we feel the sit bones begin to lift, your belly toward your thighs, your part weighted down dog, and then slowly pressing into the heels toward the ground, moving towards straighter legs into your downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths here, and if you know you like to move around a little bit, now's your time. You can bend one knee at a time as you walk out your dog, or maybe just gently shaking out the head. Yes and no. Remember, we're trying to take a soft approach as we find our way through our practice. So in your down dog, not forcing anything, just feeling where you are.
using your breath to open up some of those spaces that might feel a little bit tighter to you. Let's breathe the tightness out, open mouth, exhale. And slowly we'll land the knees back to the mat, finding our way back into tabletop. Let's give the shoulders some love. So keeping your right hand just in front of your right shoulder, start to sweep your left arm out and then up. When you exhale, just threading that left arm underneath your right over to the right side, your left palm is facing up. Let's move with that a few more times as you breathe in, opening, left arm toward the sky, chest toward the left. As you exhale, sweeping underneath, allowing that left shoulder to soften down toward the ground. And again, really paying attention to the coordination of breath and movement. Inhale, guides the left arm up. Exhale, sliding under and across. 2 more, and maybe we're starting to feel a little bit more range of motion as we repeat. Last time to lift, breathing in. Exhale, this time you're going to come in for the landing. So we're going to end up on the outer left shoulder. Let's walk the right fingertips past that top edge of your mat. Feeling the sit bones still lifting up toward the sky, allowing your heart to soften down toward the ground. And feeling a little bit more weight in the outer left shoulder to give us a nice space around the shoulders. Right hand can stay right where it is, or maybe just letting that right arm drape back behind you. It might help us feel a little more turn of the chest to the right. Last breath. We'll bring the right palm down to help us press back up to center into tabletop and move into our other side. So left hand is just in front of the left shoulder. Let the right arm sweep out on the inhale, reaching up. On the exhale, diving beneath your left arm, starting to slide over. And just enjoying the space that you find as we repeat the movement. Inhale, open. Exhale, rotate closer to the ground. You've got 3 more. Feeling your spine long as you turn around it. Nice work, yogis. Once more on the inhale, reach. Exhale, let's see where we end up on this side, on the outer right shoulder. Let your left fingertips reach past that top edge of your mat, softening more weight into the outer right shoulder, at the same time bringing your left armpit down toward the ground. Hips stay high. And we can leave the arms just like this, or once again, you might just drape that right hand behind you. Just taking a couple breaths more on this side. And then to release, bringing the left palm down and bringing ourselves back up to tabletop position. Nice work. Let's stay with the shoulder release. So you're going to come down onto your left forearm and let it turn so it's parallel to that top edge of your mat. And then with your right hand, you're going to slide it way far forward. So as if you want to creep your fingertips past that top edge of your mat. And your left forearm becomes the headrest. Letting your heart melt back and down as we continue to feel the right hand reach forward. And feel just the lightest gripping beneath your fingertips. Letting the underside of your right shoulder soften down toward the ground. Tension, tightness can hang out in the shoulders. So finding this time to open up spaces and let that tension go, breathing it out. And slowly coming up, sliding the right hand back underneath the right shoulder. Let's switch, coming up briefly through tabletop. And then turning your right forearm down. Let's parallel to the top edge of your mat. Your left hand slides as far forward as you can make it. When you're ready, let the forehead rest onto the right forearm. And there's just this very gentle opposition, as if someone was gently drawing your hips back. You're reaching forward through your left fingertips, just lightly gripping down. so that the hand becomes that anchor that we can softly pull the left shoulder back away from. Heart softening toward the ground. It's a variation on our puppy dog pose. One more inhale. And as you exhale, coming back up into tabletop, nice. With these refreshed shoulders, let's find downward facing dog again. Letting the hips rise, finding length down the backs of the legs, inviting your heels to drop back and down. Taking 2 more breaths. On your inhale, let's step the right foot between the hands, just finding your way into simple low lunge. You can keep the hands at the mat, or maybe starting to climb on top of your right knee. Back toe is tucked under, not just be aware of the way that you place your foot. And starting to find a lightness, a lift in your chest. Enjoying the sensation of lengthening through the front of the left hip, the hip flexors. And then with the next exhale, let's pull this back into a stretch. So drawing your hips back. If this is a day where you feel like you just need to stay here with a slight bend in your right knee, it's fine. Or see if we can move toward a straighter right leg and we start to flex the right toes up toward the sky. Drawing your hips back. This is a place where you might need that reminder. We're softly approaching the poses for this practice. So don't feel like we have to jam ourselves into a straight leg in this half split. Just getting to the place where you feel some good sensation in the back of the right leg. Last breath here on the inhale, lengthen the heart forward just a little bit more. And on the exhale, let's rebend the right knee, but this time both hands are coming inside of the right foot. And you might even work your right foot a little bit more toward the right side edge of your mat and turn the right toes out slightly. So we're setting up more for our lizard lunge. Straight arms for a moment, and again, finding that lightness in your heart, that slight lift of your gaze. And then let's let the left palm sink down. Your right hand is going to come to the top of your right thigh. And I want you to feel that you are just applying a bit of light pressure down on your right knee to allow you to spin your chest to the right. So don't feel that you're pushing your knee out to the side. I just want you to feel like there's a heaviness in your hand that allows you to revolve your chest to the right and maybe even slightly up. And then we'll take out that turn. You can come back to straight arms, or if you like, coming down into your forearms, getting lower to the ground. Or if you've got a prop nearby, you can come to some middle place where you're supporting the forearms. Breathe out, soften. It's nice to bring some awareness to your face. Oftentimes we are holding this tension around our eyes, our jaw, letting that go, and the hands too. Expanding the breath deep into the belly. Softening that space between your shoulder blades as you exhale. Let's inhale, guide our way back up to straight arms. And we'll just make our way back into down dog. From there, you can pick up your back knee, take a light step of your right foot back into downward facing dog. Couple of breaths in between, just feeling the change on that first side where you've done a little bit deeper work into the hip. Left side's turn. Let's step the left foot forward between the hands. Simple low lunge. Tuck the back knee down. Decide how upright you want to be. The more upright we make ourselves, the more we might feel into the hip flexors on the right side this time. Letting the tailbone lengthen down, finding lift
through that center line of your body so that the heart can shine more forward. Maybe the gaze can start to direct more upwards. And then we'll balance that with a stretch. So starting to pull the hips back into your half split place. Maintaining a little soft bend in the left knee, or starting to really send the left sit bone back and up. Letting the heel press down so we can point the left toes straight up toward the ceiling. Take a moment and just explore, how can you soften your approach to this right now? Let there be a gentleness, a kindness in the way that you move and you breathe. That helps to recharge your batteries. And as we move back into bent left knee, we're going to draw the hands inside of the left foot. Maybe wiggle your left foot a little bit more to the left so that the toes end up angled slightly outwards. Pausing on straight arms, or maybe even perching up onto the fingertips so we can get that lift behind the chest again. And then allow the right palm to plant and the left hand to touch down gently on your left knee. And as you just drive it down with slightest bit of push, starting to spin your rib cage to the left. Maybe looking up and over that left shoulder. Adding a bit of a twist. And when you unwind, it's your chance to drop down lower if you like, or just to stay up on straight arms. As you lower down, just paying attention to what shifts for you in the posture and the sensation. Identifying those places in your body that really need your breath, that really need some tender, loving care. Let the breath be the delivery system for that. Last breath, inhaling into the backs of the lungs. Exhaling, let the tightness out. Climbing back up onto your palms. Let's make our way back to downward facing dog from there. Lengthening into the lines of your legs, your arms, your spine. Pausing here to take 2 more really nice deep breaths. Let's start to take a slow walk of feet to the hands. So we end up getting ready for a forward fold. Let's lift up part way, coming into your halfway lift. And take this moment to really find length all 4 sides of your torso. So not just your back, but even each of your sideways. Letting the crown of the head draw forwards if you're just gently pushing it into a wall. And let's space the feet just slightly wider than hips distance for today. And we'll slowly bend the knees, allow ourselves to lengthen, to waterfall over the legs. Letting the arms hang long. And then maybe for today, bring the hands behind your legs and then reach your hands between that space, between your legs so your fingertips are pointing forward. And then if you can, see if you can cross one hand on top of the other. And each hand grabs a hold of the opposite shin. Exhale, dropping the head and the neck down. So with your hands, I want you to feel like maybe you're pulling your shins closer together, but with your legs, you're resisting that. So pressing outwards through your outer shins. Let the neck lengthen, the head pour down. And if you've got the space today, you can start to lift from your sit bones and feel the backs of your calves pressing into your forearms. 2 more breaths. If this wrapping up of the arms is not working for you, just let it go. Hang the arms. Enjoy your forward fold. Make it replenishing, nourishing for you. Let's start by releasing the grip, softening the hands, hanging the arms, lengthening up once again, part way. And with the exhale, bending your knees and just coming down into a seat. Nice, yogis. Good. So we'll have the left knee bent, left knee pointing straight ahead, and then gathering the right knee on top. So this is sort of like we're making the shape of Gomukhasana. But I don't really want you to worry about stacking the hips. I just want you to feel, and you can pick up your hips and slide them back. We are widening the sit bones back and then rooting evenly through both sides of your seat. So if that means that your right knee is lifted or not directly over your left, don't worry about it. With your hands just cradling the right knee, send your right knee into your hands, lengthen up through the crown of your head. Really wanting to feel more around the outer right hip. So we move some sensation into this lateral side body. And feeling for just a slight forward tilt in your pelvis. Seeing what it's like to maybe lean forward just a little bit. Keep the shoulders relaxing down your back. We're not totally passive here. You're feeling the slightest pull from your hands of your knee, your right knee toward your chest, and at the same time pressing your right knee into your hands. And we'll bring ourselves back upright. Let's add a little turn again. So right arm reaching up toward the sky. Find that length through your whole right side from your right sit bone up through the right fingertips. And then bringing the right hand behind you. Place it in a way that helps you stay really tall. And now with your left hand, it's like you're just gently pressing the right knee to the left as you rotate your chest to the right. Keep your right sit bone heavy, sinking down into the ground. Slowly unwind, come back to center. Let's lean back just to switch the cross of the legs. As you bend your right knee, it's pointing straight ahead, more or less. Left knee bends. Use your hands, pick up your seat, scoot your seat back so you can really ground through both sit bones, especially your left, which might feel lighter. And again, don't worry so much about stacking the knees. Cupping the hands around your left knee and just finding that dual pressure. The left knee presses down into the hands softly pull the knee toward the chest. There's no real forcing or muscling. I just want you to feel there's some energy there where your hands and your knee meet. If you like, you can start to lean forward just a little bit more so you're more toward the fronts of your sit bones. Move some more breath around your outer left hip. Coming back up to a tall seat. Let's add the turn. So first go straight up through your left arm as you ground down into your left sit bone. We're going to try and keep that grounded feeling in the left sit bone. Let the left arm drop behind you. You can move the placement of your hand so it's like you're sweeping your right knee more to the, actually your left knee more to the right. As you turn your rib cage left. On the breath, an inner lift up through the crown of the head, keeping you really tall. And a slow release back to center. Let's grab that cushion or prop. Bring it to the center of your mat, and let's take more of a restorative moment for this one. So bringing the base of that cushion toward your low back so that you can lie back and have your spine supported. We're gonna find our Supta Baddha Konasana. Let the soles of the feet meet as you bend your knees and allow them to flop open side to side. And allowing the arms to drape a little wider away from the body so we can get an openness across the chest. Again, a softening down in both shoulders. Breathe out, allow your body to sink down into the mat, the support, the earth. Inhale, feeling the breath flow freely through your belly, through your chest. Maybe closing the eyes. And with the body arranged in this open position, just imagine yourself inviting in whatever it is you need more of. To recharge your batteries, to feel nourished, to fill your cup.
Feeling again the absence of any tension around your eyes, your jaw. And same with the hands, fingertips softly curling in toward your palms. There's no gripping. Let the breath move. One more very deep breath. Feeling the chest and the belly rise. And on the exhale, both places softly deflate. We can roll to one side just briefly to remove what's beneath us if you're using something. And then come back onto your back and bring the knees into your chest. The whole of your back press down into your mat with your hands grabbing a hold of each knee and then just pulling them slightly wider away from each other. And you can stay right here, or we're gonna hook the elbows behind the knees. And with your hands, you can grab a hold of your opposite wrists, your opposite forearms, and then let the lower legs drape over the forearms. Let the low back drop down every exhale. Let your shoulders sink down every exhale. In Blissology Yoga, we call this pose adrenal draining. So your adrenals are responsible for pumping out some of those stress chemicals in the body. They're sitting right on top of your kidneys. So this is a soothing practice for that very specific place. Send your breath there, your awareness there. Each breath calming. Feeling spacious in the low back and the kidney space. One more deep breath. Slipping your arms out from behind your knees, letting the feet fall down. Stretch the arms overhead, sliding your heels forward. Let's find full body lengthening. And then letting the arms slide down along your sides, our Shavasana position, the feet rolling open. Closing the eyes. Another place where the body feels like it's an open invitation to receive. Receive more energy. Receive more breath. When it comes to recharging our batteries, gratitude is such a useful tool. So perhaps taking a few moments right now just to come up with a few things you're grateful for. It can be really simple, just this breath in this moment. This ability to take time for yourself. It's not a selfish act. This time for ourselves ensures that we can show up better for each other. If you can stay a little longer in your Shavasana, I highly recommend it. And we'll take one more deep breath in together, reaching the arms overhead, pointing the toes, find that full body length. And as you exhale, you can roll to one side, and let's find each other again in a seated position. Maybe grabbing a hold once again of something to prop up beneath your hips. And the hands find each other in front of your heart, closing the eyes. Last breath to really draw in more of what you need. Connect more to our inner calm, to our place of gratitude. One last deep inhale together. And exhale, dropping the chin toward your chest, bowing to heart wisdom. Namaste. Thank you as always so much for practicing with me. I would love to connect with you, so let me know how you're feeling after this practice. Drop a comment. And it would be awesome to see you in person. I have retreats coming up, one in Mexico, and I'll be adding more. So the place to go for information on those is my website,
yogawithvictoria.com, and I'll drop a link in the notes as well. Have a beautiful rest of your day.